Thomas, and I'm going to tell you all about the course I'm taking on professional learning communities at LSUS Shreveport and taught by Tracy Johnson. This is a fast-paced, accelerated online course that is required for the Master of Education in Curriculum and Instruction. If you have any questions about this course, please feel free to email me or comment below. The professional learning community in schools is a team of educators that consists of anywhere from 4 members, for instance, a grade level team, to an entire staff. An effective PLC is focused on student learning and how to increase student achievement. To be an effective PLC, there must be shared vision and values, a collective commitment to that vision, cooperation with each other as a team, common goals, and an openness to new ideas. In order to grow, a team cannot be afraid to take risks. As journalist Robert Quillen said, progress always involves risks. You can't steal second base and keep your foot on first. I have learned that in order to form effective teams, you should know who is on your team and what characteristics they have. There are assessments that can be taken to determine what type of leadership personality you possess and how you respond to others. One of these is the Leadership Compass Assessment. To figure out what your leadership direction is, you find the traits that apply to you the most. For example, I like a quick pace and a fast track. This is a trait of the north direction, or someone who takes action, enjoys challenges, and thinks in terms of the bottom line. It is important to have on your team a combination of people with all the compass leadership traits. If, for instance, your team consists of all West personalities, not only would there be too many irons in the fire, but important aspects may be overlooked because the traits needed to oversee those aspects are not part of the West personality. Another assessment a team can take is the Love Languages quiz. Originating from Gary Chapman's 5 love languages, this assessment helps you learn in what way you feel most appreciated. The problem with many teams is that there is a one-size-fits-all mentality of showing appreciation. While one person may thrive on an attaboy, another may like a handshake or a pat on the back. Those are examples of words of affirmation and touch, by the way. I've learned that being an effective team means knowing the 5 dysfunctions of a team, and by knowing them, being able to overcome them. The 5 dysfunctions come from Patrick Lencioni in his book, The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team. This book is a very interesting read that follows a business team through the struggles of working together as an effective team. This brings me to another thing I learned, which is that the PLC model can also be applied to business. I really liked learning about the SMART goal concept, which essentially breaks down a goal into more manageable pieces. In a school setting, a goal could be, I want my students to increase their scores. Okay, so how are you going to do that? SMART goals make general goals more specific, measurable, attainable, results-oriented, and time-based. Here's an example of a specific goal that I found on Pinterest. As a result of increased use of effective questioning strategies, each student will increase his score by at least 20% on objectives 3.1 through 3.4, as evidenced by a teacher-designed pre-post assessment to be given in November and May of the 2005-2006 school year. Wow, that's pretty specific. Taking that specific goal, you can break it down into the other components to make it more manageable and easier to implement. What I love about the SMART goal is that it can be applied to business as well. And as a business owner, it really appeals to me. So instead of just having the goal, I want to grow my business, I can plan and implement the steps needed to make that happen using the SMART concept. Whether I am back in the classroom or working as a tech specialist, virtual instructor, or even in a business setting, when forming teams, I would use the assessments to determine who I'm working with and who would work well together. After the initial icebreaker and getting to know you sessions, we would start by discussing the 5 dysfunctions and how they can be overcome. After that would be conflict management and how to effectively have conflict and find solutions while still maintaining the integrity of the team. The most useful thing I learned was the concept of the 5 dysfunctions. This is a concept that can be used anywhere teams are formed, whether it's school with both students and staff, or in the workplace with employees and executives, or maybe even a bowling league. One could probably apply it to family dynamics as well. As a parent of 2 girls, I will certainly be able to use the concept of conflict management. The best way to demonstrate learning is by teaching others. Whether I'm in a school, a business setting, part of a bowling league, or even the technical advisor of the praise team at my church, I will be able to teach the concepts I've learned in this class. In doing so, I can help others become closer as a team and guide them to become leaders as well. I really got a lot out of this class. There was so much information with only a small amount that I already knew. I guess one thing I wish I had learned would be more specifics about collaboration. It's one of those terms like PLC that gets tossed around a lot, and I feel like we're expected to already know what it means and what it looks like. Prior to this class, my experience with collaboration was during Kagan training, but not everybody has access to Kagan training. And without getting out my big book of cooperative ideas, it's hard for me to visualize what a collaborating team looks and sounds like. The only thing I can think of that I would have liked the instructor to do more of is the same across the board for most of my classes. A positive aspect of a condensed, faster-paced class online is that students can work at their own pace as long as assignments are turned in on time. A hindrance to that is that we students are at the mercy of the instructor's posting times. In only a couple of all my online classes, including undergrad, the entire course was open at the beginning. Generally, students taking an online course are doing so because of the flexibility, and having at least 3 weeks of material in advance could help with pacing and scheduling. I really can't think of anything I wish my instructor had done less. While the class was fast-paced and intense at times, I feel that the instructor did an excellent job of making herself available. Most of the resources we needed were provided, and she was quick to respond to questions or comments. And when she responded, it was always positive and warm, and usually with a little humor thrown in. And here's where I would inject a smiley emoji. Don't stress. It is a lot of material, a lot of reading, but overall it's a less difficult class than other grad school level courses. With the discussion forums, you have an opportunity to get to know many of your classmates, and it really surprised me to know that several of my classmates aren't teaching right now, and a couple aren't even in the education field. This has been one of my favorite classes in this program. Part of this class class, besides the fast-paced and the 7-week time frame, was not having experienced PLC in my teaching experience. I feel like this is a topic we should have been introduced to in undergrad school. Then again, as an enrichment teacher, there were a lot of concepts I wasn't introduced to as an undergrad that my